Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are continuing reading the chapter, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. The human form of life is meant for understanding this transcendental land of Vrindavan and the residents of Vrindavan. In the supreme abode, there are Surabhi cows which are overflowing the land with milk. In that land, the supreme abode of Krishna, even a moment is not misused. Therefore, there is no past, present, or future. An expansion of Vrindavan, the supreme abode of Krishna, is here also on the earth. Superior devotees worship this earthly Vrindavan as being as good as a supreme abode Vrindavan. Nobody can appreciate Vrindavan without being highly elevated in spiritual knowledge, Krishna consciousness. Vrindavan in ordinary experience appears to be just like ordinary land, but in the eyes of highly elevated devotee, it is as good as original Vrindavan. A great saintly person or an acharya has expressed this in his song. When will my mind be cleared of all dirty things? When shall I be able to see Vrindavan as it is? When shall I be able to understand the literature left by the Goswamis so that I will be able to understand the transcendental pastime of Radha and Krishna? The loving affairs in Vrindavan between Krishna and gopis are also transcendental. They appear to be like ordinary lust of this material world, but there is a gulf of difference between the moods of Vrindavan and this material world. In the material world, there may be the temporary awakening of lust, but it disappears after so-called satisfaction. But in the spiritual world, the love between gopis and Krishna is constantly going on, and it is increasing at every moment. That is the difference between the love of transcendental world and the lust of the material world. The lust of so-called love arising out of this body is as temporary as the body itself. But the love in the spiritual world is on the spiritual platform. The spirit soul is eternal, and so that love is also eternal. Therefore, Krishna is addressed as the evergreen Cupid. Lord Krishna is worshipped by Gayatri mantra, and the special mantra is called Kama Gayatri. The explanation of Kama Gayatri mantra is stated in the Vedic literature. That sound vibration, which can elevate one from mental concoction, is called Gayatri. The Kama Gayatri mantra is composed of 24 and of syllables and is stated as follows. Klim Kama Devaya Vidmahe Pushpa Vanaya Dhimahi Tanmananga Prachodayat. This Kama Gayatri is received from the spiritual master when a disciple is far advanced at chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the other words, the Kama Gayatri mantra and samskara or reformation of a perfect Brahmana are offered by the spiritual master to a student. When he sees that the disciple is advanced in spiritual knowledge, even such Kama Gayatri is not uttered under certain circumstances, still the chanting of Hare Krishna is sufficient to elevate one to the highest spiritual platform. In the Brahma Samhita, there is a nice description of a flute of Krishna. The purport of the description is thus. When Krishna began to play on his flute, the sound vibration entered into the ear of Brahma as a Vedic mantra, Om. This Om is composed of three letters A, U, and M, are a description of our relationship with Supreme Lord. It describes our activities to achieve the highest perfection of love and actual position of loving condition in spiritual platform. When the sound vibration of Krishna's flute became expressed through the mouth of Brahma, it became Gayatri. Therefore, being influenced by sound vibration of the flute of Krishna, Brahma, the supreme creator and first living entity of this material world, was initiated as a Brahma. This remark on this Brahma's becoming a Brahmana initiated by the flute of Krishna is confirmed by Srila Jiva Goswami. Then Brahma was enlightened by a Gayatri mantra through the flute of Krishna. He became possessed of all Vedic knowledge. He acknowledged the benediction offered to him by Krishna. Thus, he became the original spiritual master of all the living entities. The word Klim added to the Gayatri mantra is explained in Brahma Samhita as the transcendental seed of love of Godhead or seed of uh, Kama Gayatri. The object is Krishna, who is evergreen Cupid, and by uttering the Klim mantra, Krishna is worshipped in the Gopala Tapani Upanishad. It is further stated that when we speak of Krishna as Cupid, we should not misunderstand that he is the Cupid of this material world. As we have explained, Vrindavan is the spiritual abode of Krishna, so that word Cupid is also spiritual and transcendental. One should not misunderstand the material Cupid and Krishna as being on the same level. Material Cupid is the attraction of this external flesh and body, but spiritual Cupid is the attraction of supreme soul within the individual upon the individual soul. Actually, lust and sex are there in spiritual life, but because spirit soul is now embodied in material elements, the spiritual urge is expressed through this material body, and therefore it is pervertly reflected. When one becomes actually conversant in the science of Krishna consciousness, he can understand that his material affection of sex life is abominable, whereas spiritual sex life is desirable. Spiritual sex life is of two kinds, one completely in the constitutional position of the self, and the other according to the object. When one has understood the truth about this life, but is not completely out of material contamination, then although there is an understanding of spiritual life, but not factually situated in transcendental abode, Vrindavan. When, however, one becomes free from all bodily sex urges, he is actually situated in the supreme abode of Vrindavan. When one is situated in that stage of life, the Kama Gayatri or Kama Vija mantra will be uttered by student. I think we can stop here. So yeah, today it's, we read about understanding the land of Vrindavan, residents of Vrindavan, how material world and spiritual world are different, how the um, how pure and transcendental the Vrindavan and spiritual world, and we have a replicate of Vrindavan in this material world, but we cannot see through our ordinary eyes unless one is devotee or highest elevated Krishna conscious personality. They cannot experience the Vrindavan. Um, yes, it's supposed to be, and it's been told that uh, Vrindavan, everything is transcendental. Loving affairs between Krishna and Gopi are also transcendental. People may see sometimes it as they're like ordinarily things, but in spiritual world it is a love. In material world it is a lust. And it also talk about uh, you know Cupid in this material world is different from Krishna. He is the original Cupid is in a spiritual world. And it also talk about Gayatri mantra. You know, Lord Krishna is worshipped by Kama Gayatri mantra as stated in Vedic literature. And this one, are the devotees who can elevate from this mental concoction is called Gayatri. So it's Kama Gayatri, I think, given to devotees who get initiated, Brahmana initiated. Um, and also how flute of Krishna, you know, uh, is the first sound vibration which entered into the ear of Brahma as a Vedic mantra Om, and this Om contains letters A, U, and M, and this is a description of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. I think with that we can